we have delegated some work. With clarity, remember, the people that we gave the work had proper instructions. We told them what was expected of them on the tasks that we gave them. And once the work has been completed, it is time to give feedback. As a supervisor, as a new manager, how do you give that feedback? To your delegates or to the people that you lead, the people that you are coaching. Remember, we said we are delegating as a way of helping them, growing them, making sure that they grow in their different areas. And also as we perform the duties that are required in our particular sections or departments, whatever you call them. So how do you give the feedback? You need to concentrate on the behavior, not the person. So when you give feedback, make sure you are not attacking the person. You are talking about what you saw. For example, if it is an assignment to dealing with third parties or clients, you may talk about the way the person spoke to a client. So you are not focusing on the person. It is the behavior. It is what they did. How did they speak to the client? Or how did they do that report? So you won't focus on the individual. It is whatever that was done. So when you give the feedback, you will put it something like, when you spoke to this client, this is how you did it. I prefer that next time you do it this way. Probably you are looking at the respect aspect. And the customer being king. How do we speak to our customers? So when you give feedback, concentrate on the behavior, on the how and the what was done. Leave the person. So balance the content. For example, when you give feedback on a report that was done, it is important that you put it something like, you did the report very well within time, and it was nicely researched. I realize you did your research. Well done. But these are some things or areas that you need to improve on. So balance the content of your feedback. Then, like we said about clarity, be specific. Talk about the areas the person requires improvement or the areas that they need to change in future. If you are looking at the content of a report that was done, at the grammar of a report that was done, at lack of proper research, be specific so that somebody understands. Remember, we are growing our team members. So if we are specific, it will help them develop. In future, they'll be able to address those key points. Then be realistic. There are certain times when as supervisors, we have failed to be realistic. You give someone a report at 5:30 in the evening. In the morning, you have a meeting at 8, and you expect that it is done. Obviously, it won't be done. So let's be realistic. When we delegate, when we give people assignments, let's be very realistic. So when we give our feedback, let's focus on realistic goals that were given. Don't give feedback for things that we give in error. We give assignments very late, and so we do not expect that they'll be delivered to us on time. Then own the feedback. And the people you are giving feedback will know when you own the feedback. When they see your body language. For example, at times, You will give feedback to people that you lead. Maybe you don't like them very much. Maybe you have history of having not had a very good, conducive relationship with them. So own the feedback. Own the feedback. They will lead your body language, and they will see when you do not own that feedback. Remember, the people we lead, most of the times, will see so much what we are doing than even what we are saying. They won't listen to what we are saying. So own the feedback you are giving. So sit down and think carefully about the feedback you're giving. Then be timely. Don't wait for long before you give feedback for something that occurred today. Don't wait for the end of the year to give feedback, maybe during the appraisals or during the end of year performance reviews. Give feedback on a timely basis. Feedback should be given when things occur, so that it is so that the person that did the mistakes or made the errors can correct them. It is it needs to be timely when it occurs. Offer continuing support. When you give feedback, remember we are giving feedback to ensure that our teams grow into effective people within the department. So offer support. Keep checking on the areas that you gave feedback on. Keep checking. It is important that we use feedback to develop the teams that we are leading. Let's be remembered for developing the people that we work with. Also, I would say that make sure that you do not give feedback in the presence of others. I have seen supervisors that shout to their employees or to their team members and give feedback in public. Do not give feedback in public. Call the person, sit down in a meeting room and give them feedback in a non-liable way. Don't embarrass the team members that you are working with. So the feedback is timely, it is carefully thought out, and it is not addressing the person, it is addressing the behaviors, the things that happened. Remember, we are new team leaders, we are new managers, and even if you are not manager, you have worked for long, you must also receive feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. So always make sure you receive feedback. I love to receive feedback because then I know what I'm going to change, the things I'm going to improve on. So always make sure you receive feedback yourself on how you are failing. Listen to the feedback that has been provided and see the areas that you need to adjust. Be aware of your responses. At times, we don't like negative feedback. So at times we respond so negatively. We don't even listen to the feedback that has been provided. It is important that we be open. We are all human and we make errors, we make mistakes, we do things the wrong way. So when we are given feedback, let's always be open. Let's listen so that we understand the message and act accordingly to be able to work on the things that we need to adjust, to improve, or to work on for the future. Reflect on the feedback that has been provided and decide on what to do. Remember, we are all work in progress. We are trying to develop ourselves into efficient and effective managers. So the feedback that is given, we have to reflect, decide what to do. At times, you may receive feedback. You may not adjust in all the things that you have been given. So it is you to weigh, to reflect, and decide what you need to do. Make sure you follow up. Not only when you receive feedback, but also when you give feedback. Follow up is key. Just find out the person that gave you feedback, if the things that you have adjusted, that's how or what they meant. The people that you give feedback to, have they adjusted the things that you requested them to adjust? So follow up. Find out if they're having difficulties. That is the only way we can be effective and efficient managers, by following up and making sure that the feedback that we give has been understood and they are working on it. And that's the only way we develop effective team members. Thank you.